Alright, Schlockmeister fans, a re-review from my previous channel. We're going to watch Sasquatch. Let's check it out. Alright, welcome to Sasquatch. We start our movie with some nature footage.
For over 200 years, there have been reports of giant man-like creatures roaming the vast mountain regions of the Pacific Northwest in frames of this film, and have come to the conclusion that the film and the creature are authentic. The first pictures ever taken of a Sasquatch.
Today, this legend continues to be told in the Northwest by many responsible people who have reported sightings and encounters with Bigfoot. Because man has never been able to capture a Sasquatch, this creature has become the world's most intriguing mystery, serious business.
So we have a group of people who are going to go searching for the Sasquatch, and this is their camp on their as they get set on their way.
The rugged, uncharted country of British Columbia for Sasquatch. From there, Tekka Black Hawk will guide us.
Certainly, thank you. Your knowledge of the land beyond the Pecatow River is crucial. It's a relief to have you here. Well, it's a pleasure to be on this trip. Have you had a chance to work the dogs?
So our group is on their way.
After the feverish activity of the last week, the first 2 or 3 days out into the wilderness seemed to welcome relief.
They encounter more wildlife while out there.
Mountain rat we had last night wasn't bad. Whoop, get mountain rat. Well, a bit worse. I remember back on the 5 when we caught in the back country, not meat except gopher. You ever had gopher, fellas? Well, it ain't the best in the world, and again, it ain't the worst either.
There's danger everywhere out here in the wilderness.
Hey, Josh. You ever see a Sasquatch?
No, not exactly.
What do you mean, not exactly?
The guy then tells a story about something that happened in 1912 when he was out with a bunch of people.
By the time they got back to their cabin, they were pretty scared. They had heard nothing more from the trees, and they figured that whatever there was out there had gone away.
But they were wrong. Looks like there's more than one of them.
It was obvious that this was a wilderness seen by few men and untouched by any of them. It gave us the feeling that we were visitors in a special land.
I believe this is another story from the past.
And all around the camp, there was footprints just as plain as if they'd been made in snow. And they examined the tracks real close and concluded that whatever it was certainly walked on 2 legs. Then, on the outside of his frame, he was dead. His neck broke, just like it'd been nothing but a twig.
Worked on us.
Of course, it gets stuck in the mud.
Lava had given up. So I did the last thing I could think of to save his life. The whipping worked, and Lava made a final lunge and freed himself from the mud.
bear.
Wait a minute, Sasquatch! It's time you guys got your lookout station. Your poor cook needs protection if he's gonna be cooking these good meals and washing dishes and doing all the necessities around this camp.
Disturbing experience. At the first light of day, we began to cover the meadow to check for tracks. Those screams had been so close, we knew we should find some evidence of what had made them. We made one cast of each foot. We were using the new resin materials, which took longer to dry than plaster Paris.
Danger.
Broken trees at that height indicated a creature that could stand over 10 feet tall and weigh better than 1,000 pounds. It was a frightening realization.
This is our outer perimeter. We've set it about 300 yards back into the trees. Corresponds with this amber row of lights. This is our inner perimeter. It's about 50 yards away from the end of the meadow.
That's in your sector. He should be
So they have this light thing set up to track it.
Hank, he's moving. He's just broken gate 3 in sector 2.
And the attack.
Irvin? Irvin!
Are we finally going to get a glimpse of the creature? I'll be dogged.
It is done. We can go home.
Tech was right. They done took on out of this area. There's a whole lot of tracks leading off to the west. They seem to be moving real fast. We'll never catch them.
Such. The questions still remain. Are they a unique type of being? Neither human nor animal. And how have they managed to exist until now? Hidden from the view of man, deep in this wilderness of North America.
All right, let's talk about SASQUATCH. Movie I never had before until I picked it up. Code Red released this a couple of years back. And it's basically a Bigfoot pseudo-documentary type thing. It's I don't think these are real people. I think they are actors and actresses, but actors. I don't think they're originally women. But anyway, the premise of this movie is that they're doing a documentary to go out and try to find Bigfoot, and they basically film that, and that's what we see. They're in the Pacific Northwest, Canada, somewhere up there. I don't know if they exactly said what state they were in, or maybe they were in Canada. Who knows, like I said, but somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, and they were searching for Bigfoot. They take along this old codger who has been around since early 1900s, I guess, and he's got some stories to tell. He knows the area very well. They take a Native American guy who's a graduate from British Columbia University or something like that, and of course he's Indian, so he knows all the land as well. They take a cook, and I don't know, there's some comic relief along the way. It's just kind of a lot of silliness. They spend a lot of time in the movie looking at wildlife. We see like wolves and badgers and attacks, and some bears fighting and all kinds of things. And the old codger, a couple times throughout the film, tells stories about past Bigfoot experiences. Not that he experienced, but that he heard about and that sort of thing. We see Bigfoot tracks, that sort of thing. Finally, they get deep within the wilderness, wherever the hell they are, and the Bigfoots attack. And nobody's killed or anything like that, but then they attack, and then they're gone, and then they're like, that's the end of our movie. You know, they say, well, they took off to the west. We saw a lot of tracks, but we'll never catch them now. And then they leave, and there you go. So anyway, again, just kind of a silly little film, but it's entertaining. It's just kind of fluff is what it is. It'll keep you going. It's not boring by any means. It's just, not a whole hell of a lot happens sometimes. We do see a couple glimpses of the creature, which are kind of silly looking. Um, like I said, there's a lot of decent wildlife footage, though. One thing I found interesting, though, was that they got along their way, and the guy who's kind of like guiding them, the old guy, he asked him, like, how far out, how long do you think it's going to take to get there? And he's like, oh, by the pace we're going, I would say 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm like, 3 or 4 weeks on horseback here. If you have to travel on horseback 3 or 4 weeks, I'm guessing you could have a different starting point. You could drive your cars 200 miles to the north or whatever, and park them there, and then start your trek into the wilderness. 3 or 4 weeks, Jesus Christ! I don't know. They could have found a better starting place. Put it that way. But anyway, that is Sasquatch. It's available on this Code Red Blu-ray thing here, which is pretty darn cool, actually. It's got Encounter with the Unknown on it. That's actually why I picked this up, because I needed that movie. But it's nice to have Sasquatch too. So anyway, check it out. I'll leave a link to the Blu-ray if you're looking to get this. You should get this. It's a pretty decent one, actually. Check it out. Leave some comments. Let me know what you think about it. It's called Sasquatch. Watch it. Bye.